this is with regards to staying over in Haast. Unless you want to pay a lot of money for a camping ground, or to just even park your camper van at the local motel up the road. So we've parked at a CAP property, charges apply property, for NZMCA members. It's only costing us a gold coin donation, which is really nice, and all that money goes to the St John ambulance. So it's nice and handy in what they call the new part of Haast. I'll put the reference number below that shows up in the app if any NZMCA members are interested in staying over. So there were a few in here last night, so the time now is 4:15 and we're on our own, nobody here. So this is in the grounds between the St John's building where they store the ambulance and the souvenir shop. So it's great. There are toilets available for us and water, and just up the road are more public toilets, a cafe, rubbish and a dump station. So you couldn't get any better than that. So here's to you, Cat Property in Haast. So we've just driven a few kilometres north of Haast to do the Ship Creek walks. Got to be careful how you say that, because I do want to say another word. So we're at Ship Creek. It got its name because some shipwreck debris were found here back in about 1877, and it wasn't until much later that they discovered that it was part of a wreckage that went down in Melbourne, and the debris found its way over to here, and it was found at Ship Creek. So there are two walks to do. One is a 20-minute walk, loop walk, and the other one is a 30-minute loop walk. And we're doing the 20-minute one first, which is going to take us through some kahikatea forests. It's not a very nice day. It is supposed to be clearing, so we're hoping that by the time we do the second walk, which is the dune walk, and to view a lake, the weather conditions are going to be a little bit more kind to us. Back in 1882, the first export of New Zealand meat and cheese went overseas, and they discovered that the wood of the kahikatea tree was odourless and it didn't taint the produce, so they made meat and cheese crates out of the kahikatea. So behind me here is what they call a dune lake. Dune as in D-U-N-E, and they're quite rare in New Zealand, and so full of different species of eel and birds and reeds grown around the outside of it, which is what the Maoris used to weave and make things out of, and it also aerates the water. Iconic to Haast than the Haast Bridge. So behind me, the Haast Bridge goes for about 730 metres, and it's actually the longest one-lane bridge in New Zealand. It was built in the mid-1960s. It crosses 3 different rapids going across the Haast River, and incidentally the Haast River is actually 100 kilometres long. So when you think Haast, you think the Haast Bridge. There are a couple of passing bays built. I think there's about three passing bays. Stand corrected. Scotty's indicating to me in the background that it's 2. There are 2 passing bays. So we've driven a small way. How many k's do you think we are up the Jackson Bay Road? 10 or 12 k's up the Jackson Bay Road, and we've stopped at the Hapuka Estuary loop walk. So, let's go and see what this one's all about. Day here at Haast, and so we have taken a drive out to Jackson Bay, which is pretty much road's end as far as the west coast goes. So it's as far as we can go before hitting Fiordland, and we've just made a stop at the old Pioneers Cemetery, where obviously all the early graves are of those pioneers that arrived here in New Zealand. One of the graves I've seen 1860, so yeah, it's all been overgrown and taken over by bush, and yeah, very quiet place with the surf in the background. So many people, including me, always classed Jackson Bay as road's end, as far south on the west coast you can drive to. But now we've arrived at Red Hills and the Cascade Lookout, and this officially is the most furthest place you can go. The hills are red because the rocks around it are full of magnesium and iron. Now I can officially say road's end right here, cannot go any further. There was talk years ago about turning this road into looping it up with Milford Sound.